Welcome back to Showmance, the #1 show on YouTube doing deep dives on shows with no depth, and we are in part 2 of episode 15 of The Valley. And even though this is a dumpster fire of a show, which is a dumpster fire of a season, and this episode is following suit, this is a bright spot that we are in right now.
Oh, good.
Okay, so Lacy and Michelle are talking. And Michelle just says, you know, how are you enjoying your trip? She's like, it's okay. You guys are kind of nuts. She didn't say that, but that was the read between the lines of it all. And Michelle said, you know, it's hard to talk to you sometimes, but that's because I'm dealing with my own internal stuff. And listen,
look at Janet. Look at over here. Can you believe it? Someone just goes, that's on me. That's my thing, you know?
Per my last email of what Lala should have said to Janet.
Yeah.
I totally agree with you that I wish this was a longer scene. I think that they also are, for whatever, it might have been longer, and they're leaving that gold on the cutting room floor because of the dumpster fire that they think people want to see. We don't. We really don't. Give me a little bit of the heat, but give me more of this stuff. And
I don't mean just like, I mean like Lacy's funny and she's smart. Like, that's an excellent combination, you know. Like I could listen to her talk about this kind of stuff all day because she always does throw in some kind of zing there that you're like, all right, we're having a good time.
I also don't find both of those in a lady too often.
Ha ha ha.
That's for all you who still think I'm a misogynist. Yeah.
But what I wanted to say to you is that there might have been, because Lacy is a brief, like brevity is the name of her game. She is not some long-winded, she's not like me. She's not some long-winded, loquacious bitch. And so I think because she is so quick to say, I hear you, and that must have been really hard for you. You were going through a lot. That sounds really rough. Like there's no discussion back because the person is agreeing with you, and she seemingly really understands where you're coming from and gets it. And, you know, she says, it was so sweet. Michelle's like, this has nothing to do with you. I'm really happy for you guys. I just, for years in my marriage, had begged him for this and I didn't receive it. And it's okay. Like, I fell out of love. And again, like, I'm so happy you guys have each other. It's just really hard for me. And Lacy got it so beautifully. Seamlessly.
It's not a tough concept.
But this is the thing. I felt like a lot of people weren't understanding, because I was saying this last week about when she was having this conversation with Jesse. And I get that they push each other's buttons 100%.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like it's just some easy breezy conversation you have with your ex, but there were a lot of people in the comments that were like, she was totally out of line for saying this. And this was, and I just was like, well, but Lacy's on the receiving end of this also. And she hasn't had a great run with her.
Exhibit A.
Right. Like, and if Lacy's able to sit there and say, I get that. And if that causes you pain, like I can step back for a second. It's no skin off my ass. And that's all I'm saying. Yeah. I'm not saying it makes sense in the fact that, like, yes, of course, Jesse had to go through the stuff that he had to go through. They were in the middle of a terrible divorce. But as they keep taking steps forward and healing, and Lacy is clearly a massive component to that, a massive component to them being able to communicate better. She has taken the temperature down with Jesse.
Yeah.
All I was saying, or trying to say, is that when you meet it the way that Lacy met it, something really beautiful happens.
Yeah.
And when you just want to push back, well, she should toughen the up or figure it out. Like, then we stay in the Danny and Janet land. And I'm far more interested in what Lacy and Michelle have to offer than I am with Janet and Danny.
I think I pulled the comment, which I'll read later, but somebody said she has the right to ask, but she also needs to expect no to be the answer.
Yeah, totally.
And it's fine that he said no and she said yes.
Yes, I think when I was reading, I felt like a lot of the comments were saying like, no, this was ridiculous for her to ask. She was which is okay.
No,
everyone can feel that way. I just want people to understand, because I like to communicate. I want people to understand that I'm not saying that, oh, because she's a chick and she's butthurt right now, that like boiling it down to these tropes, that she should just get everything she wants and he should just acquiesce because he's a jerk. No. I'm just saying, let's aim to do better. Let's aim to have communication. It's why I was saying, if Janet brought that kind of honesty to this conversation with Danny, I think something could actually change out of being, as opposed to being stuck on this fucking rinse and repeat cycle.
Because all Janet, I think, wanted was to just for the party to not be weird anymore. Like that, I think that Janet was willing to like throw out like, I feel like her apologies were always worded kind of specifically that would make it where she wasn't apologizing for this, but maybe for this. Like, I can't even remember the specifics of it, but she did go to apologize. Didn't seem to have a problem with doing that in the beginning. It's when she didn't get the immediate gratification from that apology that she then, that drove her to, not drove her to drink, that drove someone else to drink apparently, but like it drove her too nutty. Like she did not go into any apology with like I'm just doing this because I think it's the right thing to do, or I'd like to get this monkey off my back or whatever. Like she went into it thinking like, I'm going to apologize and then you're going to let me back in the cool group and I'm not going to have to feel kind of sequestered over here anymore. I feel like Nia accepted her apology, but was like, but I'm not going to be friends with you now. Like, I'm not like, that's just, maybe we'll see how it goes. I think we could be in the same room and whatever.
And that's fair in the land of apologies. I can accept it and still not want to be buddy with you.
Yeah. It's like she heard her thank you, whatever. Like, but Janet wanted what she wanted from that. And so then it drove her to a place of just like, well, then I got to find a different route. I'm going to try this route now. And she just went and went and went until she had to go buck wild, balls out to like this thing that she did this episode that I was like, because you could never just be like, well, you win some, you lose some, and Michelle went into that basically just saying like, I'm going to ask for what I'd like. And I'm not going to lose my fucking mind when I don't get it in this second. And there's just, there were so many of those this episode that was just like, there's two ways to do this. And like Danny and Janet, you guys never got the manual.
Both of them.
I don't think.
Both of them.
Yeah.
And it just, one other thing I want to say about the scene, because it kind of ties into what you're saying, is when Michelle was in her confessionals, I know, Minnie, I'm going to hit it. Don't worry. She wants to make the same point as me. Michelle says, I can be really tough on people and not letting them out of the grudgery and just being completely unforgiving with people and situations. And I don't want to be that way anymore. I think the loss of her mom, I think her marriage not working out, I think she has had real adult stuff hit her. And because she's being met with someone like Lacy, which I get in the beginning, they started off on the complete wrong foot. But over time, if you show up a certain way enough, it gives way to for people to have a new opinion, to change, to soften. And you can tell she's wanting to get there because they end the scene with, I hope we can like keep going in this better direction. And I appreciate you talking to me about this. And that's what just that little bit of breathing room and listening and being vulnerable with someone affords you. Because Michelle started off the conversation taking accountability, being like, and I was going, this is my own stuff. I'm not saying that you're a hard person to talk to. And then all of a sudden, Lacy's defenses are down. And now we're in a real conversation. Then from that conversation, Michelle grows. She's in her confessional. We're hearing her say it. And then we get a great bookend of it all with Lacy talking about this with Jesse when we get to the beach, because now everyone's jumping out of the boat and heading over to this private beach. Lacy talks to Jesse about her conversation with Michelle. And at first, because Jesse's, knee-jerk reaction is to say she needs to toughen the up. And Lacy's like, but she doesn't. That's how she felt about it. That was her experience. Just
see, this is exactly like, Jesse, you're such a idiot, man. But like, I was so glad that he did give that response, because it kind of proves the point that I think that we were trying to make. Like I wrote here, like, Jesse's such a child, but I'm actually so glad he responded the way that he did, because when we spoke last week about Michelle asking him to not be so brazen in front of her with his affections for Lacy, you're not going to believe this from the comments. I don't think people understood what I was saying. It's a rarity that this
can't believe
happens.
that you have that note too. That's
because
real cute.
Everybody was saying, like, all we were saying is that you've got options here, Jesse. You can go this route and say she doesn't deserve it. I don't owe it, and I won't pay it. Fine. Or you could go, it's no skin off my back to keep this party going. She seems happy. She's my kid's mom. Co-parenting has been a lot easier lately.
She's had a rough year.
I'm
in a great place.
Yeah, I'm really doing great. This is probably the best I'll ever do. Like God knows how long I'm gonna be able to keep this.
She took half
cutie.
that loan off my back.
Yeah. Didn't even fight it. Just seemed like, yeah, I'll do it. I did not see that happening.
Jesse, I would not have done that. She's a better woman than I am.
Yeah. So we were just trying to say that like an adult at this point in life, in your 40s, you should know that you've got two options here. And the path of a little empathy and also knowing that your girlfriend wants it this way anyways. She doesn't want to make this other woman feel uncomfortable. It would have probably like I could, everything you were saying, I could definitely see like, oh, it's a little rich they're asking out. That's why I said Michelle should have said, get ready to laugh.
Yes, totally.
Yeah, so like she could have phrased it differently, but also Michelle's not really like a kind of person, you know? So like she was never going to come out that way with it. And so, yeah, it just was like an option you could have taken as an adult who has shown a little gratitude for like the beautiful life that you have. And like,
so for clarity, you guys expected Jesse to be the bigger man.
There's an option B here.
I didn't expect it.
There's 1,000 options. He could have murdered everyone. That's an option. But what you're expecting, or you're saying that like, oh, Jesse should have been the bigger guy here.
It would have been cool if he
Jesse?
was. And I said, that's why I don't think he's grown.
It would have been cool.
Because
yeah.
It would have been what?
Nothing.
You can understand that though, right? I mean, you can see that there was 2 routes to take and it.
7 routes. There's 100 routes. Like that's, yes.
Sure, but like
there's
kind of
multiple options to take. But what you're saying is like you're trying to clear up some confusion about like, oh, what we meant was Jesse should have been the bigger man. Essentially,
it would have been easy.
No shit,
you know?
like 100%. But that's not Jesse. That's not. That goes against everything that like TV that you love, the villains that you love, the drama that you love.
I know.
And it's Jesse's
But
never
don't you think
going
he's
to be
had
the
some
bigger
really
man.
nicer moments this year? Like because I have this note: if Lacy doesn't turn Jesse into at least a decent guy, no one can. And but I do think she can make him.
I think he proved in this episode that he's gotten better at maybe faking them. Because
sure,
I think the real Jesse came out a little bit, and it came out again when you know what? In fact, he probably was the bigger man. He probably did go with your guys' option with Michelle, because the option that he wanted to probably go with was the option he did with Lacy. Maybe she needs to toughen the up.
It just shows
he was kind of a dick about it, and he kind of was Jesse. He's what?
He's still in competition with her. Their dynamic is always going to be. Jesse has got to keep a thumb on Michelle. He cannot stand it if like he's not kind of like how Foof has to get up on the bed and look down at Minnie, and then Minnie's like, oh, like Minnie doesn't want to be dominated like that, you know?
Too bad.
But like,
don't be so little.
Like Jesse can't just go like, oh no, we're both doing great, life is good, we move on, you know? Like it just makes him feel better. And so what I had said was,
he could have done that straight to Michelle. Like he had an opportunity to dominate her in this scenario, like in this analogy that you're giving, right to her face, and he didn't. He waited till she wasn't around, and the girl that we all think is changing Jesse and making him grow and making him stronger, and this great chick, like this chick who's got a great head on her, so smart, all the things. He waited to do that with her when she was like, hey, Michelle came up to me. Maybe we just, I don't care. If you don't care, let's make it. And he was like, he was a dick. So that was probably what Jesse wanted to do with Michelle, but he didn't. He was.
I thought he said some like, yeah, well, that's good. That's the breaks.
He said, how
Tough
do
breaks,
you think
kid?
I
You know,
felt
like,
with you and Aaron was basically what he said. He threw that back at her. Not with a tone, it was just a normal ass valid question, I think.
I was not saying that he owed her anything. Because Jesse isn't a person who ever thinks they owe anyone anything. By
the way, he owes her $150,000 for that fucking SBA loan, so he does owe her something.
There is that, and I feel like people be like, well, they were married, so it was both.
Well, he took it out without her knowledge, so you know.
Yeah, I don't even know all the shit about that. All I know is that Jesse's only gonna do what serves him. And my other note was like, what he might learn sooner than later is that what is in it for him is keeping his girlfriend around. Because while all relationships can be super fun in the beginning, a childish, self-serving man with no empathy gets real gross real fast. So what's in it for you is keeping this little cutie patoots like around for longer, because she doesn't need you, Jesse. I want to let you know now, like this bitch don't need
and he knows
a
that
thing from anyone here.
I think he knows that.
Yeah, and she's already more likable than you on the show. I think she'll get a next season regardless of if you're together or not.
Do you think that right now? Like, do you think at this moment, like, let's say just for shits and giggles, they break up on this episode or the next one? Not going to, but I'm just for conversation's sake. Do you think that Lacy has secured her spot already?
If she hasn't, then this production is dumber than I thought because especially after a season like this, if you don't get the value of someone a clear mind, good head on her shoulders, and funny, and also very LA. It's Orange County, but it is still the look of like she's hitting on all cylinders.
Yeah, she's doing what we thought Schwartz was supposed to do. In
exactly.
theory, like in hindsight,
well, I don't think we
different
ever
way.
expected like riveting life advice from.
But just to bring a different energy, bring a like more peaceful kumbaya. Let's have a good time. Why is everybody fighting? Energy. Yeah. So it's in a different way, a more sophisticated way
with some snark.
Yeah,
a little bit. One more thing about that though,
please.
Also, just for like, if people would just like to, get their Michelle hate, stroked right now, I will also say this. Just being real. There is also a very good chance because Michelle has changed so much.
So much.
And I am not, optimistic enough to think that it's all because like, oh, she had a rough year. It could totally be that. That's an option. It could also be she sees how Lacy's performing and Lacy's friends with everyone on this show now. Zach loves her. Brittany loves her. Kristen loves her. Obviously, Jesse loves her. Like Nia and Danny, we saw all of them out together just a few weeks ago when we were at Sunset Tower. Like, and this is all after production. This crew is still traveling tight, and they were going to Sheena's thing. Yeah. Sheena is Janet's best friend. Danny's going to see Sheena's show. Like, it seems like everyone's still cool with this dude, which everyone should have some level of a problem. I'm just saying, like, things still seem to be pretty copacetic with this group of people. And the fact that they were going to see Sheena's show.
Totally. Because I love to beat a dead horse, I just want to say one last thing about this Jesse, Michelle, Lala, Lacy thing. Anyone can act however the hell they want to act.
Yeah.
Right? I am the nerd for the champion of growth. I have seen Jesse was on my shit list last year. I still don't think he's, the greatest thing since sliced bread. However, I have seen little increments of softer sides of him, of a little bit of change when they had that conversation about signing the divorce papers, and then he, put his arm around her, they hugged, she was emotional. These are nicer sides that I think Lacy is bringing out of him because he's not so angry that this relationship failed, that she left him, that his life is a dumpster fire. And I think, of course, he can say back to her, absolutely not. I had to witness you doing this, and now you can eat shit watching me doing this, and that's the way the cookie crumbles. Sorry, lady. But that doesn't bode well in life if you want to live your life that way. And it's certainly, if we're just talking about it for the context of this show, it certainly doesn't make for an interesting character. It's what burn us out all on Jax. If you just want to be the asshole 24/7 until the day you die, go for it, bro. It's not interesting. What's interesting is watching a Lindsay Hubbard who for 8.5, 9 seasons is grinding your gears, and all of a sudden there seems to be some change happening. And yes, the girl is who she is. Paint a zebra red, it's still a zebra. But there seems to be growth. There seems to be a softening with her becoming a mother. So if you stop volleying back and forth a bag of flaming hot shit and maybe put it down and take a different tact with this person because your significant other clearly wants you to do that, we'll find other fights. Trust, we will find other things to fight about. But in this moment, we could all have a win.
Yeah.
As the audience, us now starting to see a different side of you, because I get it. I get how villains work, but I also believe in growth. And I think unless you're a Jax kind of person that has that narcissistic personality disorder that they say is incurable, or whatever they've told us in the comments, then I do think, like, even in the littlest ways, you could. It's like Ramona would get on my nerves so much in New York, Real Housewives of New York. But anytime someone got sick, that broad would be there with soup, with flowers, with a book. She would sit outside your door while you took a nap. I appreciated seeing these lighter moments.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, yes, of course, keep volleying back the garbage. But at a certain point, maybe we choose something different and see if it feels better for everyone.
Yeah.
I'm just going to use you as an example, but fill in the two names. We've all had the experience. When you and Shane broke up, were you sad about that?
Yes.
For how long?
Still sad.
So probably, on some level, probably still sad. No, listen, we're in a really great place. It was a myriad
while,
of reasons.
right?
Yeah, of course.
Were you sad this morning about it?
No.
Is that growth?
Yes.
Really?
It's
How is growth? I don't know if that's growth. I don't know if Jesse being an asshole because he's going through a divorce and then a year and a half or 2 years later being over that divorce, maybe because he's found a new person and that's kind of get over somebody by getting under somebody else, right? But he's just over the divorce. I don't know. Is that growth? Just getting over a relationship?
I think without naming names, someone very close to me is married to someone who had an ex-partner, and that person hated this new person in this other person's life still to this day. But just never let it go, held on to that anger and pain over the entire situation for decades and into present day, to the point where I think it's probably ruined aspects of their life. And as far as I'm concerned personally, without airing all of the dirty laundry, because it's not just mine to share, obviously there were reasons that Shane and I broke up. And if I wanted to hold on to anger about those things and place blame and all of that, I could do that, but I don't want to do that. I love this person.
Most people don't. Though. Like most people have a relationship. I think most of the time they don't work out, right? And then you're sad and you're bummed and you're mad and you're all the things, all the emotions, because this thing ended. And then one day you're just not. You're not that sad about it. You might have a feeling about it forever. Perfect example, like so-and-so who slept with all my friends. I was the first person that I fell really in love with and was like, oh God, this is, and then that happened to me. I don't think Natalie will ever do that to me, but there's always going to be so I'm over it. I don't care. I'm not sitting up at night being like, oh, I'm not that guy. But I don't know if getting over a relationship is growth to me. I just don't there's certain situations and maybe that was a bad example for me to use because for a long time I didn't trust anybody and was didn't want to date because of that. But I don't think that's the situation here. I think they just got a divorce and it sucked. And now he's over
there was a lot of hurt. I think watching him be everything to Lacy that he wasn't to Michelle, and Michelle was asking for it for so long, I think that's a deep cut. I also think
what does that have to do with? We're just talking about growth.
Yeah,
they broke up. He was a dick. Now he's not a dick. I think that's because he's over the relationship, not because he's grown as a human.
I think he's still in competition with her. I think he still likes, like I said, I think.
But do you think he's grown? Do you think there's growth there?
The kind of growth that I'm looking for is not getting over the heartbreak of or all the shit in your relationship. I think that growth is knowing that I'm going to take a beat and be so grateful for what my life is right now because I found this other woman who is obviously my actual match. Like Michelle never was. This girl is the girl of my dreams, and we have all the same interests and yada yada. It's gratitude. It's recognizing that everything is great, and growth spurs empathy. It's looking at someone that's just kind of going through it and lost her mom and is the single mom of my kid. I want better for this whole communicative situation, the whole way that this thing goes down. Growth is knowing that it's not all about me. Other things are happening that take everyone when everyone's in a little bit of a better place, it produces a better outcome. It's not about getting over what happened. And I understand. And I said, I was right with you. I preface my thing with especially since it's a guy that he thought that she was maybe hooking up with, that's still in question. When did they start to have a physical relationship, So I understand that things take longer. I'm saying it would only benefit Jesse to feel that empathy because clearly Lacy is a person who respects a man, respects the value of empathy and of just saying you're sorry or agreeing to like help out a situation when you can. Like I was just saying that there was this other route that would have benefited him. And I think that Jesse always leads from the place of how does this benefit me? And I think sometimes he's too dumb to realize this would actually really benefit you because don't look out your people, open the door and look right and left. It's a growth.
I just think like last year they truly couldn't be in the same room with each other without being super fired up about everything. And even though I've never been in a relationship like that, when I see them being able to be around each other and him say something nice about, the dress that her mom got Isabella, and she really liked that, and maybe we get something like that for her. That seems like a nice step forward. And if he was still so angry about things, I don't know if that would have happened. And for me, I just know that there was growth there because there were things that I wanted in my relationship with Shane that I didn't get, right? And I could still be angry that, oh, okay, I don't have a child. But I know that Shane and I not having a child wasn't personal to me. There were a lot of elements in there, but I could have held on to anger about that, but I don't want to do that.
I held on to anger about it. I'm still angry about it because I just felt like Courtney was always very upfront. Like, this is the plan, right? And yeah. And then now I'm like, we wasted the good surprise on you. And by good surprise, I mean my 30s.
but I could sit here and hold on to anger about that.
Yeah.
Or I could realize, look, what's going to happen is going to happen on a certain level. Of course, I believe in free will, but I also believe that like if something's meant for you, it can't miss you. And if that's supposed to be a reality in my life, then it will happen. I live a beautiful life either way. I have this person in my life who is my best friend, who I cherish this relationship, and I don't want to hold on to anger about this thing at the expense of because I know that us not having a child was not because Shane thought I would be a bad mom or it just wasn't personal. That's the only way I can put it. Yeah. And I know that deeply.
Yeah.
But it was growth to get to that place because I think sometimes you think like, oh,
you really me on this.
You think like
that's me. I'm not growing. Okay.
And I get that Jesse and Michelle's situation is different, but I just think that's why I think breakups if you do it well, and I spent a lot of time in therapy after our breakup, I realized like, oh, this is what I was responsible for. This is what I can do better moving forward with him and in my next relationship. And that's all growth. Because if my ex-boyfriend who was an athlete said this all the time, you learn more from a loss than you do from a win. And even though I think my relationship with Shane was such a success, it was a loss in the sense of we didn't have a child. We're not going to spend the rest of our lives together, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So then I'm going to take that into how I live the rest of my life. And all of that for me is growth. And you don't have to see it that way. That's just how I experienced it.
I like it.
Okay. So
I'm realizing that please. I didn't even, because I just started talking about stuff and I forgot. I wanted to just say for the people that are like looking for like, why is Michelle really doing this and whatever. I would not be shocked if a producer kind of pulled Michelle aside and was like, you got to crack it open because like, I don't think like this is now his partner. Like she's going to be here. And I don't know if you've noticed, she's doing pretty well. We still know very little about what your day-to-day like trials and tribulations are, Like I don't know if Michelle got here on her own. Like the optimist is like, oh, she had this crazy year and I think she's realized what's important. I just have a feeling that there's just as good of a chance that someone pulled her aside and said, it's showtime. Like it's now or never. Like you gotta sing for your supper now. You gotta show us something because
maybe
this
both.
Is so, maybe what has happened allowed her to take the advice.
That's what I'm thinking. Cause my best friend lost her mom like a year and a half ago and it really cracked her open in all of these ways. And I've known this person since we were 18 years old. And there's just this newness about her, but also this old thing that came back. It's from something awful. It's a beautiful thing that's happened to her. Makes me really sad that she had to go through that.
Yeah.
And I think Michelle went through that. And I think that that's what's making her a little bit more open to be like, okay, I don't want to be angry about things forever. I don't even know Michelle. I think thinking about my friend losing her mom.
No, it's the worst. It was like, I can't even.
Moms live forever.
Yeah, no, dads were like hard. Like as hard as my dads were, the worst thing that's ever happened to me. I will die on the other side of that. Like with my mom, like I just cash it in. Like,
totally.
Just throw the dirt on me now. It'll be over.
And the conversations that we've had since then.
Don't take it like that. It's just it just that will. When you lose parents, they always talk about you feel like you're floating out. My old boss put it best. You're out at sea, floating, free falling, or free floating.
Anchor, no rudder.
No anchor. You don't know, like nothing to hold on to. You just feel like I'm anchorless.
Totally.
I think that I felt that. I don't know what will happen if anything.
That's right. Because Gina, you are living to a bajillion.
And according to Dr. Terry Dubrow, we're all going to be living like far past 100 because of peptides. So
nothing to worry.
Yeah.
Whew, glad we covered that.
Yeah, call your local dealer.
Okay, so after this, there's a spider, Zach and Benji smooch. They talk about Nia's 10-year anniversary gift. And then the next big thing is when Jesse pulls Kristen. This is Mike's point. Like, can we have a chat? And it's about, obviously, the stuff that Luke said about, if it keeps going on like this.
Yeah.
But can we just real quick?
Always.
Fucking Tom.
Oh my God.
Tom was on the floor the entire time of the entire discussion. Literally the best reveal, the best edit of all time.
Oh, when they were on the boat talking about it?
When Michelle and Lacy were there and had a full-blown serious conversation that probably lasted 15 or 20 minutes. And they're like, okay, well, should we go join everybody else? Yeah, let's go. Tom? Huh? He's just been laying on the floor the whole time.
It was actually probably great. He is like the human equivalency of a golden retriever. So he probably was like a therapy dog that just like
that's exactly
massaged.
what I thought. I thought Michelle probably said, just stay there, Tom.
That's right. I'll pet your head.
Yeah. It's like this is how up this episode is. I have two emotional, what do you call that?
I call like your emotional support lip gloss.
My emotional support lip gloss. Now I'm doubled down with him. I think that I think Michelle literally said, just stay there, Tom. I need to get through something. Can you just stay there? And he's like, yeah.
Sure.
And this is why, people, Gigi and Lee Armstrong, you guys get it. You guys saw Tom there and thought, wow, how nice for Michelle to have that tough conversation with the other woman in her still husband's life. And she had reliable, seasick reliable Schwartz to just lay there.
Faithful.
Yeah, and sponge in all those feelings and feel the feels with her. And that's why we're here, ladies and gentlemen, for Party of Schwartz.
Yeah.
Welcome, Lee, and welcome, Gigi. You're on the right side of history.
Okay.
You won't regret this, I promise you.
No, you will not.
Yeah.
Okay, talk to me, guys, about the Jesse and Kristen combo. What, thoughts, questions, comments, concerns?
It's weird because I know that Jesse likes Kristen. I know that he's not trying to hurt her, but what a idiot. Why you would ever tell someone who is clearly, it's all we've talked about all season, in the thick of it emotionally, all over the place, can't be relied on to be, like, Kristen's already very passionate.
Luke, right? Luke and Kristen?
No, this is Kristen and Jesse. When Jesse goes up to Kristen and says, listen, I just want to tell you, he said, if it keeps going this way, there isn't going to be a marriage.
Oh, yeah.
I had a young kid that completely, like, not that Isabel is the reason for their divorce, but he basically said, once we had the child, we stopped growing together and we grew apart, and I don't want that to happen to you.
Yeah, and then we just couldn't talk, so I just started talking to other people, and then I never talked to her again.
Yeah.
So all the things were there that says that he very well could have come there for the right reasons, to warn, because that is something. I remember after I got divorced, when I would see people just kind of like showing some pattern of like a path, and I was like, you need to get that shit under control like yesterday, because it'll be gone before you know it. Like, It is that slippery of a slope if you start ignoring, and it's like it's
a fragile ecosystem.
Spiral could happen real fast. Yeah. So everything he was saying was very good advice, but I just don't think that under any circumstances that aren't like breaking news, this crisis emergency is happening, these extreme circumstances, I don't think that there's any normal circumstance that you tell a woman who is in the thick of something where the whole headline is she ain't herself. She's not working with the full deck right now. You can't rely on her to have the reactions to things that you could the whole time you knew her. It's a short period of time. I can't believe he told her he doesn't know if there's going to be a wedding. Like that for a girl also with abandonment issues, like.
And postpartum.
All of it.
Dude.
No, like a postpartum, that's the whole thing. During this time, you shouldn't have told her that right now. Like I don't think it, I don't know.
Do you have anything about it, Mike?
I thought it was funny. I'm kidding. But also like, what are we talking about? Like, did he not just do a Gavin and a Lindsay and a Daniel? Like he's working. These people are. It's not. Is that not a working scene? You know.
I guess on the Valley, like I said, their headline for the entire season is "She ain't right now." Like also, I don't even know if Gavin would have taken that route, and Gavin don't give a.
If Jesse and Kristen were really friends, he could have. It's never what you say; it's how you say it. He could have said, "Are you doing okay?" Because I can see, obviously, you and Luke are going at it because they've been public about their arguing. I know that you just are 4 months out of having a child. You spent one of the nights kind of like you clocked out, went up early. I just want to check in on you. Yeah. And then she can start talking about like, well, it's this, that, and the other. And he can say, from my experience, once you forget that you're on the same team and start playing like you're against each other, you're in real murky territory.
Yeah.
So speaking of murky, we did In the City last night, and there was this same thing happened at the dinner, and we loved it. We thought it was great. Yorin said the same thing to Kyle and Amanda, and we were like, "Oh, that's a really nice thing he said." It was nice for him to share that experience and give them that piece of advice.
You're losing the postpartum thing. It's almost like a clinical diagnosis for a period of time. Like you say all those things should have been said. I actually, in a way, later I think that Luke might have even said it to Jesse purposely to get back to her because he's tried everything else, and it's like she needed to be snapped into reality. It was just like I just don't know if I trust Jesse to be the one making a decision during this time of severe emotional turmoil, and your hormones are all out of whack, and you're just crying all the time, and you're fucking pissed all the time, and you're not making sense. So I need you to please keep going, but keep in mind that she's.
I mean, I'm the one that's been bringing up the postpartum, the thing that she's like, I haven't forgotten that.
Well, I mean,
but it's also
when you compare it to the Amanda and Kyle thing with Gavin, like it's just.
Yeah, fine, that makes sense. But it's also like then there's the TV show of it. There's the if Luke did it to get Jesse to say it, then Luke's the one doing it, not Jesse. Do you know what I mean? There's just a lot of weird hypocrisies around.
That's why I said I think that Luke might have done it on purpose, like in a weird way.
I might be seeing it differently than Mike, and I'm curious about this. I thought Jesse's real cardinal sin in this conversation was saying Luke came to me and said, if things keep going this way, he doesn't see a wedding happening. I thought he could have sat her down and like temperature checked stuff and just give his experience. And that's what Owen did. Owen said, hey, if you guys keep going down this route, I'm letting you know, like I saw whatever. But but that's because it would have to me been even if Owen said, you know, Kyle already told me he wants to like, if this is how it keeps going, he wants to divorce you. So do you think that was the cardinal sin that Jesse said that? Or do you think it's even because he's both saying like this leads to a not good place?
I think Owen probably was a little less offensive only because he doesn't really know any of those people. So it probably was a little more genuine what he was saying. I think, yes, there's a postpartum part of it, but these people are also way closer than Owen and all of them. So maybe those cancel each other out. You started with Luke or Jesse really likes Kristen. Yeah. So you don't think he was trying to hurt her. So like, I don't know. I mean, yeah, maybe you don't tell the postpartum lady, hey, your guy's doesn't want to marry you. But at the same time, on a reality show, when you're on the boat and everybody's wasted, and the guy just said it last night on camera.
Yeah, he had it coming.
That's exactly when it's exactly when you say it. So that she can freak out. And is it shitty? 100%. This show is shitty. Like we don't. These producers are shitty. They have no problem showing us shitty people doing shitty things. profiting from that. We're here profiting from it. Little,
well,
really, but
the shitstorm continues because we get back on the boat to head back to the hotel, and Jesse tells Lacy that he told Kristen about the Luke comment, and she was none too pleased.
Yeah.
Jasmine and Melissa are really excited for their engagement party. I really hope that's a bright spot. I was so excited to see Jasmine in her wedding dress. She looked so beautiful. Guys, wait, I went and did a little deep dive about Jasmine, our Dallas Cowboys cheerleader alum. Okay, Jasmine.
Hold on, you didn't know that either?
No, I just found out last week. Have you always known this about her?
Yeah.
I've been watching the DCC stuff since it was literally on the country music channel, TMC. I'm dyslexic, you know what the
No,
acronym
Hannah
is.
Berner's watching it right now too, and
The old school ones. America's Sweethearts.
She's watching them all. And Paige is giving her like, well, what do you think about so and so? Like,
Yes.
it's very cute. Like,
Oh my God, I remember there was a girl named Courtney who also had curly hair who I was like, just overly identifying with, and I really loved her. This is such a no joke job. And I find Jasmine to be in a lovely way. Like, she is such a casual person, and she's, like, that is not a casual job. That is so gnarly. So anyway, every time I see her now, I'm always just like, okay, girl, you got some stuff inside of you.
Yeah.
Let's see more of it. Yeah. Anyway, then Luke walks up to Tom, and listen, I'm a free loving person. I've just never seen a straight man walk up to another straight man and say, "Can we cuddle?" Have you?
I think I missed that. Who said that?
Luke walked up to Tom and he goes, "Can we cuddle?" And
Schwartz.
I think he said, "Can I cuddle you?"
Yeah, can I cuddle you? And then they kind of did.
was-
He had his head on him.
I think that the kids are doing that now.
Okay,
It's
great.
not a
Yeah,
big
by
deal.
the way,
Yeah,
like I
these
said,
two aren't kids.
I'm
think
okay with
Luke
all of
is-
it.
Tom is a forever child, I think so.
But
I
they
just didn't know
play
it was a
kids
thing.
on TV. They're not kids,
Yeah.
but they play kids on TV. And like nobody cares about that shit anymore.
God, Luke really is desperate for physical touch.
Yeah, that.
Honestly.
And then if there's a dude that you're gonna lay down and be like, "Yo, can I cuddle you?" while he's sick and hungover and not having a good time, it's Schwartz.
Yeah.
And it's just a little head on the shoulder. Like, I don't know. I didn't think it was that weird.
No, I
It
just
was
said
more weird when Kristen came and was like, "Tom, can you go downstairs?" or like, "Can you leave?" And she put it in a way that at first I was like, I thought that she was taking Tom, like that she was going to go grab Tom and they were going to go have a chat.
Oh.
And I was like, well, that's weird. You're just going to leave Luke there with no one to cuddle? And then I realized, no, she's
No one to cuddle.
she's booting Tom so she can be like, "So you don't want to get married?"
Yeah.
I was just thinking, like, I guess I was trying to liken it to my life. And I was like, if we were in Palm Springs when we used to go out there as like couple friends, like if Shane went up to Mike and was like, "Hey, can I cuddle you?" I would be like, I'm here for it. I just didn't see that. It wasn't on my bingo card.
Shane and I are not cuddle types. Like that, we're not the dudes that are going to be like, "Hey, bro, want to cuddle?" That being said, we're also 170,000 years old combined. But like now,
generational,
yeah,
you're saying.
generation.
Yeah.
It's 100% generational.
Got it.
Like it's not a thing, and that's a thing. Like everywhere around the
Generations, it's a
world,
thing.
dudes fucking walk around holding hands, best friends, hugging arms around each other. Like it's not a thing. It's not. Only in America are we like, "Oh, dude, bro, fuck, don't touch me."
Yeah, and I'm
gay."
Merkin.
Yeah.
Wait, did you guys get that thing that I sent you guys where it's like whatever the youngest generation is, like their heart is like this.
Yeah, that's it.
The Gen
Oh, yeah.
this, millennials is this, and Gen Xers, their heart's this.
Yeah.
So good. I felt so seen. I'm like, see, I am a millennial. I never give someone the
I'm a
finger.
Gen
Okay, so now Kristen comes over and very awkwardly tells Tom to go downstairs, and then her and Luke start talking about all of this, and it just quickly goes left, but Luke catches himself and is like, "I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that," and he pulls himself out of the situation.
Listen, I'm not the best dude in the whole world, but I do know that
I'm
if
out of here. I've been misled.
I told you it was coming. I'm pretty sure that if you say a thing to your lady, that instantly you're like, "Oh, dang, I shouldn't have done that." And you're like, you got the sense and awareness and like calmness to instantly apologize for it. Like that's a big deal. Now we're talking growth.
100%.
Right? I don't think you get to get up and just bounce right after. Like there's got to be some sort of statute of limitations of 5 minute, 10 minute. I don't know what it is, I'm pretty sure you can't be like, I shouldn't have said that. I'm really sorry. I'm out. No, you got to stick around. You got to stick around for a minute.
Were they like docking at that? Like, were they?
I don't think so.
Because
Because he went and back to and laid down on the thing.
And then he fell asleep. Remember when they docked, they were like, oh, he's out.
He literally,
got it. Okay,
she came and was like, hey, I heard you don't want to marry me. He was like, nah, fuck off. Sorry, shouldn't have said that. I'm going to go in the back. Talk about doubling down on the PTSD chick or whatever, the post-traumatic. Like, both of these dudes they should have just hucked her overboard and been like, I'm sorry, we're going.
I'm with you. He 100% should have stayed there, and like walking away when you're in the middle of a tense conversation is never a good thing because you're always leaving someone else holding the bag, in my experience. With that being said, if you are truly incapable of doing that in that moment, then it is better to walk away than to say something else you might regret.
Yeah.
But I think I'm with you. Like, you grow, keep the growth train going and do not walk away.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was super awkward. And then I was like, I felt a little bad for her, like just being like, what? Like I just can't imagine what that must, to go to your fiance and be like, hey, I heard you didn't want to marry me. And 3 minutes later, he says something rude, apologizes, and just leaves you there. That would make me feel a kind of way. And I would not appreciate it.
No, I wouldn't either.
We get back to the hotel. Brittany, Janet, and Lala get ready. Michelle enters. She looks freshly f***ed, which she did. She looked adorable.
This was my moment. This was the moment where for half I was like I had to rewind. Then you have to. I chose to rewind it and just watch her walk in again to the girls getting ready. And I'm like, how come the only real moments on the show are getting ready? You go back and think about it. Like, it's the bathroom scenes where they're getting ready or getting ready to go out. It's the only time that anything real happens. It's the only time that the conversations that happen during those moments, I'm like, yeah, I can see that. That's a getting ready conversation. You know, me and the boys getting ready. I can't believe he did that to me. That happens, right?
I think it's because it is a genuine situation. Like, you're not seated at a table to have some stilted conversation. It's like, no, I got to put my false eyelashes on.
But if once you're done getting ready and you're at a party, then you would feasibly go sit at a little cocktail top and talk to your friend. You would be on a couch and you would talk. So like, those are natural settings. They don't feel natural here.
I wonder.
It's too pull-a-chatty. So when she walked in and just had that big smile on her face and was like sun-kissed and had that like, oh, you've been on the beach boat sexiness all day. And they were like, dang, you look good. And you like, Lala said the thing and she was like, didn't get f***ed, did have a little bit of a cry. Talked about the thing with like, it just was such a real organic like moment. And that I was like, and finally, that feels real. Oh, we're cutting to the next scene now. Great. It lasted 4 seconds. Like,
this is how you do tipsy, Danny. If you were wondering what option B was,
yeah,
you have a nice time.
Flash your jumps and come home happy.
No, he's not allowed to do that. I don't think he should be encouraging that.
We did say this earlier. Discussing this whole boat excursion and all the stuff, like, it was just lovelier without Janet. It really was.
It was. And it's the difference between the day party and the night party.
Yep. So next we go to Kristen and Luke's room. Luke asks Kristen if she's okay. She doesn't say anything. Clearly she's not. And then Luke starts speaking and he says, in the moment he got defensive and he doesn't know why Jesse would bring that up, but because he knows how hard it is being a first-time parent. They've obviously spoken about it. And then Kristen says, I don't know how to get through to you. And Luke says, you don't think my feelings matter. This is why they need to be in therapy together, because they need tools as to, first of all, it's like they're so much stuff has happened that when someone says one thing, that's not the first thing. They add that to the bottom of the list of all the other stuff I'm annoyed at you for. And it's like they need a professional to help them chip all of that away. So when they're in situations like this, because life is always going to be lifing, right?
Yeah. You
have the communication skills to say, I'm exhausted. It doesn't excuse my behavior. I don't think that. I'm really sorry. I'm going to work on this, whatever the thing is. But now they can't even start from step one. They're so far down the rabbit hole with this. Kaya starts crying and that breaks this up.
I did think that on his way out, Luke maybe created a new name for reality TV, no context television.
No context?
No context. He got up and he was like, he basically said something along the lines of, "Cry's crying. We got bigger things to worry about than fighting about something taken out of context." And right when I was like, that's every show on every reality show ever made in the history of the world. Interesting people doing interesting things, taken out of context.
The Valley.
That's everything.
In the city.
Yeah.
Fill in every reality show ever made. Interesting people doing interesting things, taken out of context. Like we forgot that one.
Yeah.
It should be no context TV. I'm calling it that from now on. We do deep dives on no context TVs with no depth. So you're gonna have to work that into your little thing there.
Okay. Okay. Before we get down to the birthday dinner party from hell, there was just a quick moment of Nia and Danny in their room where he's asking, when's my birthday sex gonna happen, and she is not having any.
She's
part
so
of the
annoyed
sex.
with this dude. She's trying so hard. She's trying so hard to be a loving, caring, supportive wife. But man alive, she is on her last nerve with this
She's
dude.
also got to be exhausted.
You guys, I
so
keep
deeply
seeing her
fatigued.
on interviews. She's like
Delusional.
still pulling the line, or what do you
Towing the
call
company line.
Towing the
Towing
line.
the company line.
Yeah, like
Really?
yeah, he was so horrible at this party that and he's just so out of touch with reality that I just want to say if nothing else means anything to you, I hope you watch this season and see what hell you made her life. And she's still here towing the line, like saying nothing different in her interviews. And people are trying to get her, have gotcha moments with her to be like, oh, did you ever watch What
Happens?
Happens?
If Nia and Kyle were together? The most supportive couple of all time.
Nia and Kyle.
Yeah, Nia and Kyle Cook.
She was on Watch What Happens with, and I cannot believe that I don't know her name because I worked with her for a year and a half on Grace and Frankie. She's the daughter, the blonde, not the blonde. There's two blondes. Anyway, she was on there, and the first thing she says is like, "Oh, my husband and I said that you can come be married with us," and Nia, like, it's just such a.
Wait, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I got split focus for a second. Can you say that once more? Because I think we were talking over you. I'm sorry.
So the person that she's on Watch What Happens with, like I said, sorry, I you're not watching this, but I'm so sorry. I can't remember your name. You're so lovely and so funny and adorable and amazing. But she said to Nia, "My husband and I said that you can come be married with us," and which is like such a backhanded way to say, like, your husband's a total moron, asshole. You deserve better. We would like to adopt you.
Yes.
Like, I would be a deer in headlights in that moment because I would want to be like, "That's so kind. You're being so nice, but like that's an insult to my family, And like so, but she answers every time, like just so pleasant, where she just sort of roundabout, like just avoids that little turn with a little smooth curve instead, and just as pleasant as pie. So she's still doing all of that, and how exhausting to have to figure out a way to figure out a way to make light of everything, every double meaning that you're getting all over town, or just straight up like, how do you deal with this motherfucker? Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure she's getting it all, and she's still just this beauty queen for you.
I was just gonna say, consummate beauty queen.
Yeah.
June or Brooklyn?
Huh?
June or Brooklyn?
June Diane Raphael. Lovely.
Dude, she's
Wait,
funny
is
as
June
hell.
Diane the one that's friends with the Bitch Sesh girls? And she has a podcast?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Okay. So much happens in this scene. I'm just going to start rattling things off. You stop me when you need to. Okay.
Okay.
So everyone's getting there. Danny notes that Janet is also there. Obviously, he wishes she wasn't.
So does really anyone who's anyone.
Yeah.
Even the people that just want to have a nice night.
Totally.
Even if you like Janet, but you'd also like to have a nice night.
Conflict free.
Yeah,
That's right.
exactly.
Conflict free dinner.
Yeah.
Tom is there in his solidarity head wrap. Brittany asks for ranch, which is the most Brittany thing ever.
Ooh, salads. You got any ranch and barbecue ribs to put on here?
Danny asks Michelle if they're good because he heard that Michelle is uncomfortable around him, and Michelle says, I'm here for Michelle 2.0. I feel like she's really clear when she's saying stuff. And listen, nobody's perfect, but like she scratched a lot of itches for me. She said, "No, I don't feel that way. I was speaking on behalf of others." And Michelle says, "There are people that feel that when you drink too much, you act a certain way. So if I were you, I wouldn't drink." And Danny said, "Well, that's why I'm not drinking," which You had a drink in your hand when you said that. So clearly, I think that cancels out. Like, he's just
Where's
not getting
my seltzer?
Right.
Bring daddy a seltzer.
I think it was a water.
He's not getting it.
At that point, I think it was a water that he was drinking.
Oh, he hadn't had a drink yet.
Yeah, while he was talking to her, that was a water with a lime in it.
Got it. I thought it was a
listen,
cocktail
I
drink.
feel like
think
you've
it
been
was.
drinking all day, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh, he was.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
But,
By the way, he could have walked in with holy water in that cup. It doesn't matter. You've been drinking all season. Like, don't piss on my leg and try to convince me it's raining.
No, I really am convinced at this point, drinking is literally the least of his problems. That is just one of those things that goes, oh, let me highlight the big problem that you're able to hide most of the time. This thing just puts it all on display. You are a very angry little man, and that's not gonna go away until you figure that shit out.
do we know anything about his family, like his mom and dad or
No,
anything?
I was thinking
like
that
I always
same thing
go
because this doesn't come from nowhere.
Yeah, because I will always go back to, and it's just my life, my past, whatever. That's what I know. That Hollywood, like Hollywood's a up place, and if you go there dreaming about making it, you are convinced you're going to make it. You go down that rabbit hole, and you have all the visions and all the like daydreams and all the red fin houses and cars. You've bought them all. And then it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
and you can get real fucking angry about it. And especially when you've been told.
Celebrities that are the biggest assholes.
So
Totally.
there's a comment too that like, don't Disney kids have this problem? And they do. Like kids, actors, but a lot of the Disney kids, because they're pampered, they're told they're amazing, they're told they're the greatest thing in the world. Then they turn 18 and it's, we don't need you anymore. Yeah. Well, no, because you've been telling me since I was 12 that no, you were, but now you're not, and this kid is. Yeah. What do you mean, that kid? Whatever, bro. Go. Can you leave, please? Get your shit out of this dressing room. We got a new kid moving in. Yeah, that messes with you and with you, and if you don't ever recover from that, then you're just gonna keep yourself, you know. And he can go to all the therapy he wants. If he thinks that he was wronged and didn't get what he deserved and didn't get what he worked for, he's never going to tell a therapist that, you know, that there's something wrong there.
Yeah.
Because in his mind, it's right.
Yeah.
Or he was wronged.
Yeah.
And that's right, you know?
The amount of voiceover work that he gets is impressive.
Is staggering.
People would kill to get that much voiceover work. And he's like, no, I'm Tom Cruise.
Bro, side note, Mike Rowe, did you hear about the Discovery lawsuit? So Mike Rowe had a pay or play voiceover deal for Deadliest Catch, and he VO'd Deadliest Catch forever.
Oh, I know. I've worked with Mike Rowe, and I was obsessed with the Deadliest Catch. I'm very intimate with him. Not in a sexual way at all.
So he had a pay or play deal that he negotiated as a lifetime deal, and they didn't pay him for however many episodes, and so they owe him like $2.25 million or something. And somebody just figured it out.
I love when people just figure it out that they've lost $2.25 million.
That's right.
Totally. And I don't know. He just sued Discovery, Talent Inc. or whatever, their talent arm he's like $2 million. They're like, no, you didn't do it. And he's like, pay or play, bitches. That's pretty cool.
A few things. One, I was just looking up like what if there's anything online about his childhood. There's not, besides the fact that he was born and raised in Michigan.
He was born?
He was born.
Wait, where in Michigan?
Three Rivers. Danny was never some successful child star or like a Disney star. He did a single episode of iCarly, and he was on Desperate Housewives and like he has credits. I'm not trying to discount his career at all. I think it's the chip on your shoulder. And listen, I would love to be a B-list actor. I would love to be any kind of an actor, but I do think there is like that I'm stuck in this spot and I think I should have been here, or I missed out on that and I got a real chip on my shoulder. I don't think he ever fully got all of it, and I think he thinks he deserves all of it, which is where the actor chip on the shoulder comes from.
Yeah.
I don't think it comes from because he wasn't some child or like, whatever. But I think you're on the very right track with that. Okay, so they get into the Janet stuff, him and Michelle. Janet hasn't been talking about you, is what Michelle says. Danny says
she's been doing really good about not talking about you.
Yeah.
Like she's the kindergartner that's like, here's a gold star for Janet. You didn't talk any shit on anyone today. Thanks, Janet.
And, Danny's like, she's never apologized to me. And Michelle said she doesn't want to, basically. Like she would apologize for the situation, but she's not sorry for what she said about you. And therein lies this cyclical fucking argument that we're all having. Danny brings up Jesse's actions to Michelle, saying, you know, last year in Santa Barbara, he was so drunk and yada, yada. And Michelle said, this is totally different because, you know, I know that people might not agree with this. I don't think it's that off base to say it. I don't. And I'm not a Danny apologist. And I've listed every friggin' reason why we could be mad at him or think he needs help. And I said it in part one. If you haven't seen it, go back. We don't
like Danny. Like this. I hope that's clear. We are not Danny stans, Danny fans. Like I still don't find him creepy because I don't think Danny's a sexual deviant. I'm sorry. I get a lot of issues.
I think he's a goober.
I think he's a fucking dork that thinks
like,
that,
hey, look at my body roll.
Yeah.
Don't do a body roll by me, bruh. I'm good.
What is this?
Okay, so Nia interjects when Michelle says, don't make people feel uncomfortable in the future, and we're good. And Nia's like, yes, you can do that. Nia is, I feel for her in the sense that she's clearly at her wit's end on this whole trip, but definitively, you know, through this whole dinner scene and after when she's having the drink with Kristen. And when you're tired, just not the best of your qualities can come out a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And I think this over mothering, the whole time she was talking to him in this scene or talking on behalf of him, it felt like she was dealing with a petulant child.
Yeah.
And I know that is a result of her being exhausted and also their dynamic. And they really got to figure out that dynamic. I get that she's saying it works for them. What we're seeing is a different story.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious to see them at the reunion to see if how they explain some of this back and forth because
I don't have high hopes for them going into any of the I know that Nia will say, because I've heard her say it recently, that like that was rough. That was a hard time or whatever. But like she always goes back to their communication, which is an odd thing it's hard to swallow or hard to take her at her word because what good is communication if it doesn't produce anything different? Like if we're talking about it every day and, I think we've gotten somewhere and only tomorrow I wake up and we've clearly not because the same thing is happening again, then like, I don't know what communication is worth. Like how much regard you give it if it doesn't.
I don't know how great their communication. I don't think it's abysmal. Like it's obviously better than Jesse and Michelle when they were married, but she had said a number of times, I feel uncomfortable. Please don't do this. And he just kept pushing it.
Yeah.
If your partner tells you I'm feeling unsafe, triggered, uncomfortable, whatever the words were, I can't remember. Stop.
Yeah.
Like you've hit brain. We're there. We're at ground zero. Just let it lie.
Yeah.
There are like this. Remember we were joking around about like the safe words of it all. When you say something like that, to keep going then it is this mad anger issue that you're talking about that he's got because you're just in this blind rage where you're not hearing or seeing that she is in distress and she's asked you to stop. I also think they have a weird, I wonder if they are in therapy or if they are just seeing their pastor because no shade, see your pastor. Your pastor is not a therapist unless your pastor actually is a therapist, but you know what I mean. Because they do these things where it's like, your wife is speaking, come with your wife. And it's very like, by the way, first of all, he knows who you are. Second of all, I don't care if you were his fiance, girlfriend, or friend. He should not be talking to anyone like this. So the whole reiteration of the wife thing just seems very like the nuclear family and it's the wife and the husband and they have to be like this unit and no man put asunder. It's giving, I don't know if a therapist told you to communicate this way. And that's why I think their communication's not awful, but it ain't the one.
Yeah, no, I think that could have very easily been something, whether it's a pastor / that's acting as a quote unquote therapist.
Yeah.
Your wife follows you because you have earned leadership. You have earned something for her to trust in you. That's the give and take of these trad relationships, and that can work beautifully for a lot of people. It's not easy.
Well, if the dude who's supposed to be the head of the food chain is a loose cannon.
Exactly. Then like that can't be your leader. Like, sorry, you've only proven that like you can't steer this ship, you know? I think that he is striving for that life that he knows about that is in faith-based trad relationships, but they're so far, they're missing so many of the like foundational components that like saying the wife thing is only reminding everyone here that this guy's a fucking idiot and that you have to like say things over and over and over. He hears none of them. Dan, like, let's turn away, listen to your wife. Like, it's weird, Nia. It's fucking weird.
Because
it's making it
sounds
worse.
Like you are talking to a petulant. Listen to mommy.
Yeah.
Eyes on mommy.
Yeah.
This is what we're. No. I'm taking the iPad away in 1, 2. Like, it just interchange any of the kids' names and wife to mommy, and it sounded the same.
No, it totally did.
Michelle talks to Janet about her conversation with Danny and just says, "Look, he wants an apology. Just give him an apology." Janet says, "No, that's not happening."
Yeah.
Zach speaks to Nia and Danny about the drinking comment at their lunch. Nia is definitely minimizing what she said and how it all went down. And then Britt enters the chat, and Nia and Kristen are telling Brittany that they didn't say, what was delivered to them.
Yeah.
And then Jasmine pops in, and this is when I love Jasmine, because Jasmine pops in and says, "I don't care about the drinking stuff. We all drink. It's looping me into the Danny stuff that's going on. Leave me out of that." That's the clarity I'm looking for. It's like when she went for Janet on the beach last year, and she's like, "And you're this and you're that." She's really like, every once in a while she'll pop off and is on a good thought pattern that I could follow. And Kristen is talking to Brittany about this when Janet walks by, and Kristen just looks at her and she's like, "You are a piece of work,
You
man."
are.
Danny then goes over to talk to the guys about his conversation with Michelle. Lala joins. She gets the tail end of the conversation and basically says, "This is a easy way out of the ramification of your actions, Jesse," how he framed all of it. And it was funny because, again, even though I like Lala as a person outside of this show, when Jesse starts standing up for Danny, whether you agree with Danny with it's essay, it's not essay, like Jesse and don't like him, the fact remains Lala is a bulldog for Janet. So then Jesse can be a bulldog for Danny. So when he said, like, I'm the last line of defense when it comes to this guy, and she's like, "Oh, that's so pathetic," I was like, you can't say that because you're here fighting Janet's fight.
That's all
you
you've
weren't
done
even
literally
here in
every
the
single
season.
day since you got here.
But like, you weren't even here when any of this happened.
Yeah.
So it really weakens your argument. And if Jesse wants to be the first and last line of defense for this guy, it makes more sense than you doing it with Janet, in my opinion.
What Jesse said was, if you have a problem with him, you got to go through me.
Yeah.
Which is what Nia's doing. You got a problem with my husband, you got to go through me. That's silly. Lala's not doing that. Lala's not saying no one talk to Janet. If you want to talk to Janet, you got to go through me. She's just on Janet's team for this fight. These two are saying, they're saying ridiculous stuff. Like Nia didn't say it. Well, she did say it, actually. But those two things are ridiculous. Those are silly things, and Jesse should have been laughed at in his face. Because what, dude? That's a grown-ass man. And now he's got his buddy and his wife? You can't talk to the dude? You got to talk to his best friend and his wife?
No, those are great points. It still feels to me, though, that like in Lala's ways, she is inserting herself in this situation, which
she
I
marched
get it.
up to that table. They were talking not
inserting,
to her,
not protect, not blocking, not like standing in front of Jen. If somebody, when Kristen went and go talk to Jen, you didn't see Lala jump in and be like, "You talk to me, Kristen. You talk to me if you want to talk to her." That's not what she did.
But Jesse didn't do that either.
He did. He
she
literally
came over
got
to
up.
the table where he was sitting.
And what did he say? If you
They
want
asked
to
her
talk
to
to
go
him,
away,
you
and
got
she
to go
wouldn't.
through me now.
Yeah. I'm just saying it's not comparable in the sense that he didn't run up into a conversation that Lala was having with someone else and insert himself.
Yeah.
You didn't see that as clear, agenda-driven. I'm going to wreck
Agenda
shop right
driven.
now.
That's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is that you said that Lala's doing the same thing with Janet that Jesse is doing with Danny, and that I added that Nia is also doing with Danny.
Yeah.
Correct? Is that not the conversation we're having?
Okay.
Okay. I'm simply saying that they're not. What Jesse said was, if you want to, it doesn't matter where Lala barged in, didn't barge in, heard from across the way, got it on the text message. None of that matters to the conversation we're having.
Okay.
It does?
I was just saying how people are acting a fool. Everyone is acting crazy. I've never heard Jesse try to stand up for literally anyone. I also don't love what Jesse said because it just sounded stupid. Lala is smarter than Jesse. Lala's always been smarter than Jesse. She's smarter than half this cast. She has a better way of doing things. She has better strategy. Jesse hasn't had to have much strategy and has still kind of been a fan favorite and like doesn't really matter and whatever. So yeah, I didn't love that he said that because he just sounded stupid because but I understood it because Jesse's been saying, I'm so done with this. Like they can come to me at this point. I'm going to settle this. Like I'm tired of watching everyone fumble the ball here. Jesse thinks he's not going to. Of course he is. He's not any better at anyone else as than this. But I think that has to be taken into consideration. The way that Lala did it was cooler and slicker and whatever. But they're just different techniques. They're just different ways of entering situations or doing something as opposed to I'm going to tell you, you got to come through me. Lexi, Lala's not telling anyone. She's just doing it. Yeah. So it's not totally different. These are just different styles, and she's slicker than him, which I've always loved Lala.
There is one thing that she says that I do back when she
there's a lot of things.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, in this next moment, in the thing, she says to Danny, "I've had a good time with you, and then you don't know your limits, and I've had a bad time with you." And I do think he doesn't know his limits when he drinks. We talk about this all the time, and this is when Nia comes over and tries to get Danny away from the table. He, she feels he's being antagonized. I feel like she's again in a negotiation with her children, and it's just weird. And Jesse's egging him on, like, you don't have to leave. You can stay here. Don't get up and, walk away from this. And the way he's speaking to Nia was very reminiscent to me of how we've heard him talk to her in the past, specifically that San Diego trip. And then back at the table, Lala tells Jesse that her sobriety is anchored and being accountable. Janet then says they are willing to bury everyone to hide their truth, which makes me wonder, like, what is their truth? Because Janet does have a tendency of
inferring something.
Yeah. And so when she says hide their truth, maybe she's right. Maybe they do have this whole crazy truth that we just haven't been privy to yet. We either got to talk about it all or we got to find something new because it's so draining to watch. And Nia starts to say she feels very dysregulated. Jasmine doesn't like hearing men yell at women, but she doesn't have a problem when it's her and Zach, which is interesting. And then Janet talks about to Jesse that, I got uncomfortable during that whole Easy Mac closet thing because I basically have PTSD from an essay experience that I had. And she says, and I also know that he did something like this to a friend of mine. Bingo, bango, Bob's your uncle, as you always say. And Jesse said, if I had heard that from you, that changes my perspective on things a little bit.
And the season before, whatever season that was at this point, all she said was, I don't want to know that he's in here drinking and that I'm supposed to carry your secret, that you're in here. It was all about the booze. It had nothing to do with I'm uncomfortable because I find you to be, you bring discomfort. You're threatening to me. It was all about, I don't want to get involved in.
I forgot that.
Nothing has been on the up and up.
Then Nia starts to cry. Danny is in his own private Idaho at the bar by himself, just sad and upset and about who his friends are and aren't in this moment. He was bummed that him and Nia weren't together, and he's in his confessional talking about all of this, and he starts to cry. And then we see Nia up in her room, like Mike said, she's talking to the nanny saying, just pray for me, which I am not a religious person, but that I do believe in prayer. But that just broke my heart because she is such a religious person that this is like her being brought to her knees.
Yeah.
And then Tom at the party says to Janet, and this is where, and I know, like, this is the least Tom could give us. I want to see him do so much more. But when he says at the party to Janet, it's hard for me to fully understand this because I just don't see them this way. And she says, it's different when you're a woman. And I know I have said something like this, right? Where it's, you don't understand because, you know, if you were a woman, you get it. Like,
I think I just said it yesterday. That is a thing.
Yeah. And like I said, I know I've said that. I just think in this situation, what would have gotten us more, and this is where I keep landing with Janet, where I'm just like dead ended with her, is instead, maybe I would like to offer you this, Janet. Instead of saying it's different when you're a woman, she could have just said, when a woman is in that situation, you feel really vulnerable, things can get triggered. And that was my personal experience with it. And Tom could then extrapolate things from that. He could talk to her about that. But when you just say like, you wouldn't know because you're not a woman, he can never have a thoughtful, to me, it stunts a thoughtful dialogue about it. That's how it read to me when she said that. And I do think Tom is actually a really great person that you could have had a thoughtful dialogue about that with, and then enlightened people and shared about how terrible what happened to you was and why this situation is triggering you. Like, it could have garnered you maybe people that don't understand you all of a sudden having your support here, because now I see how this happened. I understand how this sausage got made. But even with her explaining all of this, I'm still a little lost in the sauce with her.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that I don't feel horrible that this happened to her. I feel horrible to any woman that has gone through this, Janet included. There were a few people that just had like a really banger after banger, so there might be a few repeats. Johnny Smiles said, Jesse's self-produced redemption arc is great. And I just thought that was, that this is what you have the binder for, Jesse. This arc is working for us. Ms. Othamson said, this show, in a parenthetical, The Valley, has given me the ick. From your hair to your face to your attitude. It's given all of us the ick. I think that's one thing all of us can agree on, even in the commies. Jackie Isaacs said, this group needs to reset and move on because it's not the same anymore. Janet can't let shit go. And I understand how it reminds her of what she went through in her past, but she used the wrong vocabulary and took what happened to Jasmine and Melissa and weaponized it for her own agenda and turned it into her pain. And Jasmine and her wife forgave Danny and asked her to stop bringing it up last season, and she keeps weaponizing it, and it's getting old. And I think even if you completely disagree with the weaponization and all of that, I think we can all agree that like you either have to agree to disagree and move on or switch up the cast.
Yeah.
Nuvo Mari said, thank you for making this fun, even when most of the show isn't. And thank you so much, because it's not easy. Thank you for seeing us. Lacy said, Johnny Smiles said, Lacy is totally going to kill Jesse later on and get away with it. And I just thought that was great and probably true.
Yeah.
Shannon Fall said, the over-mothering is a lack of trust thing. And that
1,000%.
Like Shannon, thank you, girl.
Yeah.
Because it's what Lala kept saying to her in that fight. You don't trust what he's going to say.
Yeah.
And Gracie Garbo said, Zach and Jesse are my favorites on this show. Jesse is the right amount of douchey for reality TV. And honestly, his douchebaggery is working this season. And thank God for that, because we need some little wins.
Yeah.
Jay True said, Danny is a little alcoholic. Not because he drinks a lot, but because he's small.
I love that.
That was funny. Paul Manelli said, Janet's a dead end. And Johnny Smiles said, but so hot. And I just thought that was a great back and forth. Rookie to Life said, yes, I think when Janet feels overwhelmed, she runs away. I also feel Janet doesn't like listening to other people, and therefore she runs away. And if Janet doesn't like other people's opinions, she runs away.
We didn't talk about how she was like, say it with your chest, Kristen. F you. That jig is so far up. Like, come on. How do you even look yourself in the mirror after you say, what do you got to say? Say what you're like, you won't stay. So why keep going?
It's also, she can't pull off lines like that. Lala, and I know Mike doesn't like when she gets all like, and another thing, and I'll clean your clock kind of stuff. But Lala can pull it off.
Yeah.
And like Janet, the pearl clutching and the just, I don't know why you're mad. I said what I said, and I'm not saying anything else. To be like, say it with your whole chest. Yeah, you can have colors, but like that ain't your color.
No.
Say something else and pull off the insult a different way.
Yeah.
I think Janet likes her own show, and Janet thinks she's always right. And personally, I cannot stand Janet. And yes, unfortunately, all those things. Caroline's Ipurin? I'm sure I screwed that up. It's becoming increasingly depressing, and there's no humor lately. That's the note I'm ending on.
Yeah.
Give me back the humor. Give me laughter or give me death.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All that glitters. Janet is the epitome of meh. Nailed it.
All that glitters is on fire lately.
Now it's bleh.
Yeah.
It started meh.
It's going to end on bleh.
Yeah. I hope it ends on you're fired.
Miss de Mandeville, Janet just isn't likable. She has no nuance and seems out to ruin Danny and his family, and that's vindictive. Then again, I'm not sure any of them are likable. Nailed it with that last one.
Therein lies the problem.
Yeah. This show has brought out the worst colors in every single one of them.
Except Lacey. But she's also a side character.
And she's new. Like she did say, like, for the 12 hours here today, I will spend weeks in therapy.
A year in therapy because you guys really dysregulate my nervous system. Also, Zach hasn't really brought out the worst in Zach. He's had a pretty great season.
Yeah, no, I agreed.
Hot take, Kristen Hall. I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but firing Nia and Danny and bringing Sheena and Brock in their place would save this show. Lala would be forced to confront her beef with Sheena, and no one would be talking about Danny. We wouldn't have to watch Nia constantly run interference for him, and the rest are actually all friends and live in the valley. I was going to say that earlier when we were talking about like who to get rid of, and Danny and Nia, they live outside the 30-mile zone. So you got to pay mileage for the crew to get out there.
What's a bummer is I know that if we lose Danny, we lose Nia. I know that she'll choose her family, which everyone should. You know, choose your family over work or whatever, especially when you have 4 babies. Like, I get it. But I wish that could be a conversation where she's like, no, I'm gonna stay because I actually play well with people, with friends, with neighborhood kids. You not so much.
Yeah. You're in a timeout.
Yeah.
Susan Youngblood. Question: if Danny is a creep and he is lying about who he really is, how is Nia to some degree not lying by extension? She has to be a part of the lie to portray the perfect family storyline.
You know who said that? Also, Amanda Petula. It didn't go well for her.
She was saying it to that cute girl, Jules.
Yeah.
And she was, because Jules said, oh yeah, she was like, then I can't trust you, Jules. And Jules was like, well, Kyle lied to you and you still trust him.
Yeah. And you're married and then you married him or something like that. And it's like, and then Amanda could not believe that anybody.
She was very upset.
But it's like, Amanda, you didn't take 2 seconds to think that through?
I like that they don't air their dirty laundry. I don't like that she's always covering up for him and their stuff. I think they need to really get some help with this.
Yeah, because her help is not helping anymore. It's actually exacerbating
It's totally making it worse. I think the reason she lies for him is because, one, she's got that keeping up the appearances pageant stuff. And furthermore, she is protecting the realm until the day she dies.
And she doesn't trust that he'll ever say the right thing.
Baby Cakes WV Girl. Why would anyone want to be a part of this group? These people are the most toxic people I've ever seen, not one of them excluded. I can't imagine going on a beautiful vacation and wanting constantly to cause turmoil. How is that enjoyable? Do they get tired? Don't they get tired of the chaos everywhere they go with the group? They split into cliques, and within the groups they're talking about each other, constantly engaging each other, or repeatedly bringing up things that restart confrontations.
Nailed it.
Yeah, that was really good and also horrible because it's so true.
Yeah.
Pat Clark, love you guys.
Oh, Pat, I love you. She says love you guys in all the comments. It never is lost on me. I think it's the most
I know. And I never relay her messages to Minnie, and I'm going to start.
I do. Don't worry. Don't worry, Pat.
It's always 3 hearts, a foof, a mini, and a bee, and a plant.
And a plant.
Yeah, she can't put all of my cats in there because there would be no room for any other comments. It's too many.
Yeah. Also, apparently that plant that Foof was just chomping on, that I was just pissed that he kept doing that, could have also been the reason why he was throwing up all the time. So I don't even know if we can bring that plant back in unless we're like literally so good about keeping him away from it and then putting it back up. Like, and sometimes we don't. Sometimes I'll wake up and I'll be like, oh my God, we didn't put the plant away, So I don't know. If that's going to cost us another $1,000 vet bill, I might just keep it outside.
You're a diet for spite. This is exactly the problem with the Valley. We need to see what each of these people do in their day-to-day lives. It's not authentic to throw them into only group scenarios where they don't even like each other. I want to see what they have going on outside of the group. Why are we asked to care about them if we know nothing about them?
Get us in real life.
Yeah, so much better than I could have ever said it. And the thing about the scenarios, like, it's weird. Just these weird group scenarios over and over.
Yeah, like I would like to see Nia recording her podcast, or I am Justice for Ladies of London. That show was so good this season. If you haven't seen it, it's like a season light, but it's a banger of a season. And we did get the cast trips that we love, them getting together to support someone else's business venture, yada, yada. But we also saw people at work, people with their children. And it was, for a myriad of reasons, it was a wonderful show. And by the way, they have it on ice right now. Word on the street is Margot is suing Bravo because she doesn't like her edit or something. And it's just like, why you gotta ruin it for everybody? This show was so good. And they can't use, as someone who was with someone on reality TV, he always said, they can't use what you don't give them. And I get that they can, tailor the edit or whatever, but Shane was a villain on Survivor. And he's like, because I did do that shit.
Yeah.
I yelled at that girl, Courtney. I had a piece of wood that I called my woodberry. I had a thinking stool that if you sat on it, I was going to yell at you. Like, just saying.
Yeah.
And that's why they used all that.
Abundantly Kina. Let's remember Jenna is not new to reality TV. She spent years playing the background on the VPR, hitching her wagon to high-profile mess, her audition, not in agreement with whoever held the social power. She spent years absorbing how reality vets manipulate narratives. She spent her entire time on VPR practicing how to weaponize other people's mess from the sidelines. But she did a pretty good masterclass there on VPR.
I think she definitely did that, but I think it's like that person that's watched every, Yankees game and knows all the stats, but like you put them in the game and they might not be able to play. But they know everything.
Yeah. Just on the pitch about bringing back Sheena and Brock, I wonder who Janet would side with if it was Lala v. Sheena.
Interesting. Maybe you bring them back in and don't get rid.
Yeah.
Gua Missy. I hope I didn't butcher that too bad. Denny is a creep and Nia is an enabler. Touche.
Not helping.
JW
Not
Francesca. I beg to differ. I loved the hour and 45. It all made sense to me.
Bless you.
Dang, super bless you.
What's the hour and 45?
Our first episode where we literally talked about one scene.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It was deep. It was shallow. It covered a lot.
Yeah.
High, low.
Yeah.
Mary Ayeka Kent. Did Mike say he could be a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader? Yeah, I did. What? You don't think I could?
No.
Whatever. All that glitters. Jesse and Michelle seem to get along better than most of the other couples. That is weirdly
It's
true.
not on my bingo card, but I'm here for it.
This is so true and so annoying. Jules B. Every show on Bravo, they all want to deep dive an issue when drinking. It definitely causes the fights. That is so true. Like, I don't know why people want to get so wasted on these shows and then be like, we should talk about our problems.
that problem.
That always ends well.
Yeah, not even my problems. My problem with you.
Yeah. About SA.
Yeah.
I'm just looking out for our co-host, Harris, because they all deserve respect. Harris B, need a I agree with Mike t-shirt ASAP.
What did I reply?
It doesn't matter.
What did you reply?
Dead to me.
This is so crazy. I didn't even think about this until you wrote it, Anne. And I think it's wild that Brittany thinks the rest of the cast is beneath her. She does think that because she said, why are you going to believe any of these motherfuckers over me? And you are so right. And that's the craziest thing I've heard in a while.
When she made a comment also about Danny's looks, I was like, girl, don't poke the bear. Like it's glass houses. I don't know. Maybe just relax on the
Stay away from looks.
On the physicalities. Brit.
Yeah, that's a tough one to go after too.
Oh. I hope you keep that in. His little panther slide.
Yeah. Oh, he's so scary. Such a scary panther, isn't he?
What
Scaredy cat.
He knocked over
The pole, the
rug
scratching.
that we use for those other videos. Those other videos.
Oh.
It fell over.
Amelia 9. Hi, love you guys. Thank you. Bye.
I love you.
That is my kind of comment.
It's not done. Let me try that again. Amelia 9. Hi, love you guys. Thank you. Bye. P.S. Please never stop.
We won't ever. We need to make the money. So I'll just be here until we make those
we're in
monies.
too deep.
Honestly.
The dive has gotten too deep.
It's like a cult now.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was getting into. They said, come over. You'll get Pinkberry. It'll be fun.
This would be a great idea.
So I love everyone.
Yeah, cool. Bye.
Bye.
I looked for Truth for Peace. I didn't see any comments. I'm still on strike until she chimes in. Say, love you. Bye.